Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Snug Wrestling. We're going to be going over doing predictions for SummerSlam this weekend. My name is Edgar. I'm the host. The Snug crew is here. Before we get started today, I want to start off with something interesting that I came across earlier today when it comes to SummerSlam. And, the talk after Monday Night Raw was Danhausen. And, that segment that they did where we all pretty much, I don't think there's anyone that watched that show that actually liked the segment. We talked about it, we covered it. And I saw an article that said that, Danhausen is going to be a big part of the show. He was a big part of the buildup. He's going to have his own wrestling match versus Dominik Mysterio. But it looks like the WWE, not just the WWE, but ESPN, they're also working together to kind of build a lot of the marketing outside of the shows built around Danhausen, because apparently Danhausen is going to have like his own ice cream truck driving around the city Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's like a big ice cream truck with his face on it, handing out free ice cream for everyone in the city to promote SummerSlam. So I thought that was really interesting how they're doing their marketing for SummerSlam. It's being built around Danhausen. That was one thing I wanted to get your thoughts on. The other thing too, there were some updates that came about recently when it comes to YouTube TV. Apparently, if you have YouTube TV, you can now watch SummerSlam because it's like built in with ESPN now. So they're combining ESPN and YouTube TV, which the timing of that is pretty crazy considering that SummerSlam is this weekend. So they're really trying to get, I guess, give more people access to being able to watch both nights of SummerSlam this weekend. So I thought those were some pretty good updates, since we're going to be talking about SummerSlam. Did you guys hear about this? And if so, any thoughts on that?
I hadn't heard anything about it. No, it's kind of crazy. We're already coming up on a full calendar year of this ESPN deal, which wasn't technically supposed to go into effect to the beginning of this year. And WWE and ESPN pushed to do the partnership a lot sooner with that WrestlePalooza PLE last year, which I can't believe it's already almost been a year. But yeah, I mean, the YouTube TV thing was an issue when they originally started the ESPN direct to streamer app, direct to consumer app. Because if you remember, the first PLE WrestlePalooza had a lot of issues where a lot of people were not able to log in, were not able to sync their Disney Pluses, were not able to. It had a lot of people who, like 77,000 people, were unable to watch the show. And one of the things that came out of that was YouTube TV was one of the places they were supposed to be able to watch it because it was in junction with ESPN. Even back then, it was supposed to be a platform you were supposed to be able to watch it on if you had ESPN through YouTube TV, and they weren't able to do it either. And that was a big point of contention for people. So the fact that they fixed it, I think that's interesting. The fact that it's finally available, I think that's good. With the Danhausen thing, yeah, it's oversaturation. Look, I have said ad nauseum since the day this man debuted at Elimination Chamber that I have been a fan of Danhausen. I like that he is for the kids. I like the kids have something that they find entertaining. I like that there are parents out there that find entertaining and people that love Danhausen. That's great. Nothing against the guy whatsoever. But it is becoming a serious point of contention with people that he's being overly marketed, overly fucking pushed, and he's overly saturated. Having him everywhere on night shows, on today's shows, at the freaking the finals for the whoever the fuck it was, who won the Super Bowl that destroyed New York, whoever the fuck they are, I don't even remember the fucking team's name because I don't give a fuck about sports if it's not wrestling. But the thing is like it's too much. And last Monday was a direct example of this is what happens when you fly too close to the sun and you think that you have a gimmick that's untouchable. And well, you jump the shark, like that might be one of the most hated segments of the last few years in Raw's history. And it was really bad. And it could have done really bad damage, not just to Danhausen's character, but to Joe Hendry by proxy. So yeah, I just think that it's too much. The ice cream thing for the city, that's great. Middle of the summer, I think that's a cool thing to do. It's a great way to promote while also keep people cool and hydrated and cold. I think that's great, but it's too much.
Yeah.
It's becoming too much.
Yeah, it says on the article that WWE sees Danhausen as a unique, fan friendly personality who can attract attention beyond traditional wrestling audiences, making him an effective marketing vehicle for one of WWE's biggest events of the year. WWE and ESPN are leveraging Danhausen's popularity and quirky character to promote SummerSlam through a citywide fan activation, showing how modern wrestling promotions increasingly blend entertainment, branding, and live experiences.
And look again. I am very happy that Danhausen and the man behind Danhausen has found his place in pro wrestling. He wasn't a great fit for AEW, and we saw that because they barely used him. He also doesn't wrestle much. So if you're going to use him the ways of the Hornswoggles and the R-Truths and the these and the that's, that's fine. I think he has a place in WWE. I think he has a place in pro wrestling. He is quintessentially the carny aspect of pro wrestling, which we all love so much. But there comes a line where it's too much all of the time. The reason R-Truth and Hornswoggle lasted so long in WWE is because they were used seldomly. Their goofiness, their zaniness, the little people's courts and the little jimmies, and it was used sparingly. It wasn't in your face all the time, everywhere, even outside of WWE. WWE does not know how to pull back the reins on Danhausen. They're doing what TKO is having them do. They're going all in on everything so much, so often that it is driving fans up the fucking wall. I like that Danhausen is working. Good for him. He deserves that. But it doesn't mean that it's not grating on people's patience.
Well, besides all that, Toxic, Tommy, welcome. You guys are here as well. How are you guys doing? Are you guys ready for predictions and for SummerSlam this weekend?
I'm doing great. Not mentally because I don't know what. Plus, I also made the smart decision to watch Obsession, which it's got me in the feels. So if you know how that goes. But I'm excited for predictions and for SummerSlam itself. That's been one of the things nonstop on my mind, other than Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Um, I'm just excited to get into it.
Good luck there, bud, on the fucking obsession thing. But overall, I'm doing good. I am ready to get into the predictions when it comes to the whole Danhausen ice cream truck thing. It's the middle of summer in Minnesota. It's hot as all hell. Gotta have something to fucking cool off with. So, what better way than to have Danhausen, somebody who a lot of people love? Blood does not love him at all. He hates him. But a lot of people do love Danhausen. And there you go, right there. There's a way to not only plug Danhausen a whole lot more, but to also cool off the people of Minnesota while you're at it.
Well, I don't have the matches. I know the matches were announced already, divided into both nights, night one and night two. I don't have them in order. Does that matter to you guys? Should we just go down the list how I have them here, or what?
I can actually find it if you want me to. But we do know some of the, but they did release them match cards for SummerSlam, right? So
Okay, let's do them in order then. I can pull them up too.
yeah, because they did, it is an even 6 and 6, I believe. So like we know that Roman Reigns is night 2. We know that, Oba and Brock are night 1, along with Cody and Punk. But yeah, they do have the full match card for night 1 and 2 individually done.
I did send both of those to our chat, Snug. I did send both.
All right.
Posts.
Well, I have it here now, so we can just go down in order. And let's get started with the main event of night 1, which is CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Now, there's one more Friday Night SmackDown left for this one. By the time we're recording today, we're 2 days away from SmackDown before SummerSlam. That's going to be the go-home show. So hopefully they do something else when it comes to Cody and Punk. We already kind of talked about this on our Monday Night Raw review, how we felt about the build-up for Punk and Cody Rhodes. I'm hoping for a little bit more tension between the two. This is for the Undisputed Championship, two former friends, a lot of history. There's a match that a lot of us have been waiting for many, many years. We're finally going to get it. But I'm still hoping for more. We'll see what they do on Friday Night SmackDown. But with that being said, fellas, who do you guys think is going to come out on top?
As for Friday, I'm really hoping for at least one more segment with some physicality. I want to see these guys finally, cross the line with each other. We know that Punk went a little too far when he said just Dusty's kid, low-hanging fruit. But I really am hoping that we see at least this segment. Like this past Monday's Go Home show was shit. I'm really hoping Friday kicks its ass. Please do not add any more matches to this card. 12 is enough. And one could argue with this card, this is maybe a 3, maybe a 4 match card across both nights. I don't think this SummerSlam card top to bottom is strong enough to warrant 2 nights. I'm going to be honest. But when it comes to Punk and Cody, I'm going to say Punk because I think WWE is wise to the fact that they need to cool Cody off on the title reign at the moment and have him chase. I think what this is leading to Sami versus Punk again, and or it's going to be Finn Balor versus Punk because reports came out that Punk apparently personally requested that Balor be moved to the SmackDown roster because he enjoyed working with him so much and that he wanted him over on SmackDown. Which makes sense. I mean, Punk seems to have a little bit of pull when it comes to it. I mean, he got Danhausen a job for Christ's sakes. But I want to say that with this match, Punk retains. I think we're going to start seeing the cracks of a heel turn here. And I don't think it's Cody. I think Punk is going to start turning heel in this match. I think the way he wins is going to be one of a heel turn, or Sami gets involved to distract Cody because he's pissed. And I think maybe Punk maybe takes advantage. I think it's one of those. Or my other one is that Sami goes to distract Punk because he feels like Punk snaked the title from him, but it flips around and screws Cody and Punk capitalizes anyway. And that drives the wedge further between Cody and Punk. And I think Punk uses that justification and goes into that justified heel turn that we'll start slowly seeing for Sami versus Punk, maybe at Mania 42 in Saudi.
I'm excited for this match. I've been one that's been waiting for this to happen since Punk came back or Rumble 2024. So it's finally happening, but I have Punk winning mainly because of 2 things. One is mainly opinion based, but last SmackDown, both of these came from last SmackDown. Cody said that he has to beat Punk. There's nothing else left for him if he doesn't beat Punk. Like everything's done. He's done. He's not what he is or was ever since he beat Roman. That's at least what I got from it. But it will not hurt Cody to not win that title whatsoever. He's held it 3 damn times. I mean, I said this about Gunther, but it's not going to hurt Cody to not have some gold. It's not going to hurt him. The same episode of SmackDown, like I said, when Priest and Cody were talking backstage, Priest said that some people in the back are tired of the same people being at the top. And I personally agree with him. I would like to see someone else that hasn't been at the top a lot be at the top. But I mean, Punk is there right now as long as I don't know, but I have Punk winning this match.
When it comes to Friday, there's only one new thing that we're going to end up getting, and that is that 5th member of the interim ladder match that we'll get to later on. But when it comes to Punk and Cody, I'm going Punk with this because I don't think that he's had enough time to fully have a full damn title reign yet. I mean, yeah, his last title reign was like 5 minutes because of the cash-in, unfortunately. but still, I still feel like he hasn't had all of that time. Plus, as Toxic just said, Cody doesn't necessarily need another title reign. If anything, you could ask almost any person in the IWC and they will gladly tell you they are sick and tired of seeing Cody Rhodes with that title. It's over the top right now. He's no John Cena where he can hold that thing and be just fine with it. His reigns overall have kind of gotten worse and worse over the more times he gets it. So I'm going with Punk.
I'm going to make two corrections here really quick, Tommy. One, people hated John Cena as champion from 2009 to 2015. They were sick and tired of seeing him. They hated him even more than they hate seeing Cody as champion. We just didn't have social media the way we did back then to tell us just how bad it was. But two, you said Punk, his last reign was 5 minutes, 30 seconds. That was last year when he beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. He had a World Heavyweight Championship run for the majority of the beginning of this year up into Mania when he lost it to Reigns, but he has not ever held this undisputed championship before. This is his first WWE championship reign since about 2013 when he lost to The Rock at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, there's a part of me that, kind of like what Tommy said, CM Punk just won the belt off of Sami Zayn not that long ago, so it's kind of hard for me to believe that he's going to lose it right away this weekend, but it is Cody. We're talking about Cody Rhodes here. He's very unpredictable when it comes to winning and losing that championship. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a title change this weekend and Cody comes out on top. But one thing is for sure, I'm really looking forward to this because kind of like the match between Cody and Randy, the gloves were off. They beat the crap out of each other in that match. Things are going to get hot this weekend with Cody and Punk. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Punk, he's one of the ones, he doesn't care who it is in that ring in front of him. He's going to fight whoever comes in front. And that's what I'm really looking forward to the most is seeing, who's going to be the bad guy in this match? Is it Cody or is it Punk? How are the fans going to react? So it's going to be a fun match for sure.
The only way, and maybe you'll agree with me here, but the only way I see Cody walking out of here is if it's a heel turn. I think that's the only way fans are going to accept Cody taking this championship back is if he turns heel during this match. Because then fans will be like, oh, wait, heel Cody? Homelander Cody? Let's do it. It's fresh. And now we can boo him and no one's going to argue us with it. Like, that's the only way that I would want to see Cody. And Cody Crybaby for life. But that doesn't mean I need to see him as champion 100% of the time. I love seeing Cody chase, but I'd also love to see him help freshen up another division if it's not like freshen up that men's US championship division or the Intercontinental Championship division. Like, let's see him. Like, we've seen how it's worked in the women's division where main event talent goes and helps the mid card. John Cena did an open challenge with the US title for months. Like, I would love to see some more star power in the mid card. Cody would be great to help elevate that section of the company too. He doesn't always need to be in the main event to be a main event. Like, what? You think because John Cena is a U.S. champion, he's a mid-carder? No. That's a main event talent working with a mid-card championship. The man makes the title if you're doing it right. But let me ask you this, Snug, because I don't think you said it. Who do you actually have between these two? Or who would you like to see? Because I don't think you gave us your actual answer.
Yeah. I like both of these guys, man. So, I mean, what do we have after SummerSlam?
I'm going to say we have another Saturday night's main event at some
Survivor Series, right?
Survivor Series, I think, is coming up. I don't know. Are we doing another WrestlePalooza this year? I don't know if I've seen them announce that, but it'd be weird for them to do one of those one-off randoms like Roadblock or something, and then they never do it again.
I'm going to say Punk. I'm just going to stick with Punk. Because I love seeing Punk with that Undisputed Championship, and kind of like we saw Punk have some good title defenses when he was the World Heavyweight Championship recently. So I want to see that be done with the Undisputed title next, So I'm gonna go with Punk. But when it comes to Cody turning heel, I lost all hope, man. I don't think we're ever gonna get that Homelander Cody at this point.
I think they're going to give it to us when we least expect it. I think because people are waiting and waiting, they're going to wait till Cody gets the absolute point to where fans are like, they just like, it's nothing but booze and they can't do anything to get around it. Even having Kevin attack him backstage with that fan found footage to avoid fans cheering Kevin for beating up Cody. That's the whole reason they did that, was so they could keep Kevin heel, but not get him cheered for attacking a babyface in that of Cody, because they know that they want Cody to be fucking booed. And we that's why they mentioned that in the Unreal season 3 as well. That was the whole reason they did it. So I think that they're going to wait until fans are at the absolute precipice of, yeah, I'm not cheering him no more. And it's just straight booze. Like they fully turned on him like Sami Zayn. And then they're going to go, fuck it. We got nothing else to do. Let's do it. But I think Tommy had something to say.
Yeah, I looked it up and it seems to be Money that's next.
Okay.
I completely forgot about Money in the Bank. Okay. LA Knight this year, please.
God, it feels like that's the conversation we have every single year when it comes to Money in the Bank.
It really is, though. Still holding out hope, man. Get those lucky socks and draws.
Yeah, it's like freaking being a Cowboys fan and this year is the year. Yeah, right.
Or like New York, finally we got it, and then they turn New York into fucking Avengers after the Chitauri invasion.
All right, for the Women's World Championship, Liv Morgan versus IYO SKY. Liv Morgan has been champion for over 100 days now, and I think this is going to be her first title defense, which is crazy to say, right? And she also had some comments about that. I saw a report about it that she said, well, when you're a legend like I am or something like that, you don't have to defend shit or something along those lines, which I thought was funny. But is this going to be her first and only title defense? Is IYO SKY going to win it? I mean, that's the big question, but what do you guys think?
I definitely think that it's good that they're having her play into the fact that she hasn't defended, because she's a mega heel. Heels are not trying to have competitive matches, okay? They're trying to hold on to that championship by any means necessary. And if that means holding on to it by not defending it, that's what they're going to try to do. So to me, in that vein, it works that she hasn't defended it, because it's organically pissing people off, which means it's organically giving her heat. That being said, I gotta say, I love IYO SKY to death. I love IYO. I think all of us love IYO. We respect IYO. She is one of the best in-ring competitors WWE has ever had in the women's division. She's not a great world champion. And that's not her fault. It's because every time she is world champion, they book her in tag team bullshit, or they have her involved in shit that has nothing to do with the world championship. Or they have her, it's always some bullshit. And I love her to death, but she also cuts a terrible promo. And it's not that she's a bad promo in Japanese, because I've watched her cut Japanese promos in Japan. She cuts an amazing Japanese promo, but it's only good if you understand Japanese. I understand Japanese, so I'm hearing how good it is. But in English, it's broken. And the fans cheer her because they love her and because they adore her, but they give her like the sympathy. Yeah, that's right, IYO. But really all she says is like 4 sentences in English and everything else in Japanese. But fans are like, well, we love you too much to boo. But she's not. She is, let me put it this way. IYO SKY is 100% championship material. She is world champ material. She just doesn't have the tools in this company, nor do they write her well enough to justify another world championship reign. I don't need to see one. We've already seen 2 in the last year and a half. I think I think Liv has to retain, because they're holding out hope for Stephanie to come back, and they want to do that again. My thing is, I don't want to see Stephanie and Liv again, because the entire time that they feuded, either one of them was injured and the others were building the feud while the other one wasn't even present. And I have a feeling that the reason they had Liv hold the championship this long is because they were worried about her getting hurt. because she came back from an injury. Then she's doing this shit with Stephanie. Then she gets injured by getting concussion protocol from being thrown headfirst into Raquel. So I feel like they have kept her out of matches to keep her healthy, to keep this title on her longer, holding out for Stephanie. Now, Stephanie might return here. We don't know. Stephanie could return. She's been gone a long time. But I still think it's got to be Liv, because it makes no sense to take it off of Liv when you just put the IC championship on Raquel. And we have yet to see what that looks like on a Monday Night Raw with the women of the Judgment Day holding all gold. And we haven't seen that tension that it could bring to Raquel in the group yet either. And I do want to see those story threads. So I'm going Liv here.
I think y'all know what I'm about to say. All that I'm going to say is, Io, please take the title from this dumbass. I mean, she's had it for 100-something days and hasn't defended it once. And please, I want to see a fighting champion. That's my only ask. Actually, no, that's not my only ask. My second ask is, if you have Io win the title, make sure it's not like her last defense to where she barely defends it. I need that title to be a fighting champion, or whoever holds that, fighting champion. That's my only ask.
Third ask, bring back Liv's old music.
Yep, completely agree on that one. But overall, I'm going Liv here. I love Io. I really, really do. But I just don't want to see another world title run from her. I want her to finally finish that story that has been there for a hot minute with Rhea. On the whole, Rhea can't beat IYO SKY one-on-one. That's what I want to happen. And I feel like if Rhea Ripley was medically cleared for SummerSlam, that's where they would have gone. Is that way they could finally finish that off and have Rhea Ripley finally beat IYO SKY. But I'm going I'm going Liv Morgan, but I don't think IYO's on her own. I really don't. I think this is where Stephanie comes back. I think it's time for Stephanie Vaquer to come back, because I also feel like that's the entire reason why she's been holding it for 100 days and has not defended it. I feel like it's because of the fact that they are waiting for Stephanie Vaquer to come back so they can finish that off.
Another prediction. Sorry, Edgar. I just had a thought. Far-fetched. If the numbers game's too much, let's just say Stephanie's not ready to come back yet. What if Asuka came back instead to back up IYO? Because Asuka is still working for WWE, but she's only partly retired. She's been gone for 4.5, 5 months now. She could come back and try to even up the numbers game. Hell, Kairi Sane's 90-day non-compete just came up. But do we know if maybe they haven't quietly re-signed her? We could even out the numbers so she can combat. War Games is coming up, mind you, and we have seen no build on Monday Night Raw at all towards any of who the teams could be. So if Stephanie don't come back, if it's not Kairi, but I could definitely see Asuka.
Asuka, yeah. Kairi, I saw something about her being represented by the same person that represents all these AEW people. So a lot of people are speculating that Kairi has signed to AEW already.
Oh, well, good for her then. Good for her.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I got to go with Liv Morgan as well. I mean, she's just a way bigger star at this point than IYO. I know IYO's loved by the fans, but I mean, Liv Morgan is the face of the women's division on Raw. I mean, who else other than like Rhea Ripley? I mean, some people would say Jade Cargill maybe, but I think Liv Morgan really is the face of the women's division, at least on Raw at this right now in this moment.
Becky, if she was around.
Right, but she's not right now. And Becky was in the Intercontinental title scene with AJ Lee, right? And we're talking like, I'm just thinking like the women's world title scene right now. I think Liv Morgan is the one to be the head of that. And I love IYO SKY too, but I want Liv to beat Io and move on to something more interesting.
You make a great point.
Because this is just
I'm ready for
okay.
the
We
implosion.
did it already. Yeah, we did it already. They're gonna have their match at SummerSlam. I don't even want to see Stephanie Vaquer either. I want to see something new, something different, someone new to face Liv Morgan.
I want to see Roxanne turn on Liv at the end of SummerSlam. Even if Liv retains, I can still see a beatdown after the match. But now she's the only woman in the Judgment Day with no title, and Liv has basically forgotten her. And they were pulling on that story thread a month ago, and then we haven't seen that story thread again since. But I agree with you; you're 1,000% correct. Like
That would be good.
Even like I said, like even if Stephanie came back, didn't I already say I don't want to see it again? Because we saw that feud for Mania, and what happened? Half the time, both of them were injured and could barely build it together. Like, I would love to see. I think everybody's ready for the implosion of the women of the Judgment Day finally, and I think this is your perfect chance to do it. This story has waited so long. Like, Finn Balor got kicked out of the group fucking 5 months ago. Like, can we do this? Like, the best story to tell the Judgment Day is right there, and I think it's time to pull the trigger.
I would love to see Liv versus Roxanne. It also put Roxanne in a whole nother light, a more interesting
turn her baby face. Yeah. Turn her baby face. Why not? She's a terrible heel. Turn her baby face.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Hell in a Cell, Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. This is going to be match number 3. I believe they're both tied at 1. I mean, one would think Oba Femi has to go over here if you want to put over the younger guy, but it is Brock Lesnar. It's his hometown. Has, like, on paper, the more experience in Hell in a Cell matches. It's not looking too good for Oba, but I think the smart thing to do is for Oba to win here.
Couldn't agree more. Look, let's be honest here. This is their rubber match. They're 1-1. This is the rubber match. I cannot help but feel like this was a massive missed opportunity for them to, because the reports came in about the ticket sales. Now, for the setup they have for night 1 and night 2, that stage can hold around 39,000. And for night 1, they've got tickets around, they've sold about 35,500, and they're down around 1,300 or so. On night 2, that's night 1. They've sold about 37,000. Night 2 actually has less ticket sales than night 1. Night 2 has only done about 35,500, and they're 1,900 or so tickets down from that. This, if you had wanted to sell out, you should have just advertised this as Brock Lesnar's like last match. Like, it literally should have been Oba Femi going, I put my title match with Roman on the line so I could do this with you, and I gave it up. If I give this up, you need to give something up, Brock. If I'm giving up my championship opportunity, I want you to risk giving up your career. That would have sold, because then everybody gets FOMO, fear of missing out. Brock's last match, potentially, Hell in a Cell. He could retire. Second biggest show of WWE's calendar year. I gotta be there. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't. Like, they've even lowered the ticket prices. Some people were getting tickets as low as $70 per night. Okay. So, like, they're trying to sell it, but if you would advertise this as Brock's last match, sell out. There's your marquee right there. And then, as much as I love Punk and Cody, I would have made this the fucking main event of night 1. So as far as it goes, and people are like, oh, you can't do, well, they already kind of did a retirement angle at Mania. No, that was Brock calling an audible. And he wasn't supposed to do that, and they let him do it. But you could absolutely do it again. WWE don't give a fuck about running the same segment twice. That's why we see the same ending of Raw 15 times in a row. But if you ask me, you've sat here and touted so much. Well, Brock's never lost. Brock's undefeated here. Brock beat the take. So obviously, Oba's going to win. You telegraph it. Every time WWE sits there and touts, there hasn't been a back-to-back this since this. The Royal Rumble, Cody does it. We haven't had a 2-time Grand Slam champion since ever. Bailey does it. We haven't had anybody do this since that. Someone does it. You keep telling me, well, Brock's never lost in the cell. Brock's never lost in the cell, so Oba's going to do it. It's Oba, obviously. If it's not Oba, this was a waste of time, and he should have gone for the fucking World Heavyweight Championship. It has to be Oba Femi.
I hope this is a great match, and it more than likely will, but I'm also going Oba because Brock just needs to leave. I mean, I'm tired of seeing this man on my TV. I mean, he pump faked us at WrestleMania. Clash in Italy was good, but I mean, that it was that. But I mean, and he acts like he doesn't even give a shit about the product. I mean, he even said that he doesn't care. He doesn't watch the show. So I mean, which it just feels like he's trying to pass a torch on to Oba as the next big guy that people should fear in the locker room, which is kind of what Oba is already starting to become. But in conclusion, fuck Brock Lesnar.
I am also going with Oba Femi, not just to put Oba over, God damn it, brain and tongue. But hopefully, if everything goes right and if everything goes our way, Brock Lesnar will retire and will be gone. God, I hope that happens. Because Paul Heyman needs to stop focusing on Brock Lesnar and focus on the faction that he himself helped to found. That being the Vision. He needs to focus on the Vision and what's happening there instead of just one massive guy.
All right. On to the next match. We got Nick Aldis versus Gunther. Now, this match is probably the match I'm mostly looking forward to out of all of them. Unfortunately, we didn't really get the chance to talk about this on Friday Night SmackDown, where they did the contract sign-in, because there was a lot of interesting things that were said when it comes to this contract for this match between these two. It was said that once Nick Aldis steps into the ring versus Gunther, that he's going to give up his SmackDown general manager duties to Adam Pearce. So Adam Pearce is going to take control of Friday Night SmackDown, and the WWE will not be responsible for what happens to Nick Aldis once that bell rings. So that kind of goes into who might actually win it, because if Gunther defeats Nick Aldis, I think that makes the most sense. But then what happens after that? If Nick Aldis loses, does he regain his general manager duties? That wasn't really explained. So that is kind of making me wonder, Nick Aldis might actually have to win, because if he beats Gunther, that means he can continue wrestling. So there's a lot of things that they're not really clear when it comes to this match. But my only concern is something that Nick Aldis said in this promo to build up their match is, when I beat you, Gunther, you're going to be the guy that lost to someone who hasn't wrestled in like 3 years and who is basically someone from The Office. Is that really something that they're going to do to Gunther? Is Nick Aldis going to beat Gunther? I don't think so, but what do you guys think?
Well, really quickly, before I address that, there was something I wanted to say about the previous match that I thought was also important. Toxic, you'd said that you don't think Brock cares, and I was watching Busted Open Radio because Triple H was doing an interview for this weekend, and he said that Brock has taken a hands-on personal approach with Oba. He literally has him in his locker room before shows and talks to him for hours, giving him knowledge and trying to talk. I don't think we've ever had Brock ever do anything like that, where he's genuinely taken an actual full-blown interest in like brothership over Oba. I think that bodes well for the future if someone is that giving with their time when they don't have to be like Brock, who doesn't like people. I think we're going to see one of the greatest fucking Hell in a Cell matches we've ever seen come this Saturday. Now, on to this. I don't think you can beat Gunther on Saturday. I don't know how you have Gunther retire Goldberg, retire John Cena, retire AJ Styles, And then he loses to Nick Aldis. And Nick Aldis, great wrestler. Great wrestler. I mean, again, there's a reason that Cody personally requested a match with him at All In, the first ever All In. There's a reason he was a world champion of 2 other promotions, one of them being the 3rd most major promotion in North America, and that being TNA. Okay. The guy has always been great in the ring. I've seen him wrestle live many times at TNA. He is a guy who had something very special. But you can't tell me that you justify a win to Nick Aldis clean over Gunther if Gunther ran through these other 3 legends in the last calendar year. What does Nick have that John Cena, Goldberg, AJ fucking Styles did not have? Especially when CM Punk, of all people, got taken to their limit by Gunther and eked out their victory clean at SummerSlam last year. So I think Nick takes Gunther to a limit. I think Nick surprises and shows Gunther something Gunther did not see coming. And the best thing in Nick's arsenal for this match is that Gunther is underestimating him. And that is what's going to come to bite Gunther in the ass, because Gunther always underestimates and then he always winds up regretting it. But I do think Gunther has to win here. The amount of credibility and momentum Gunther loses by losing to someone who hasn't wrestled in 3 years is too great of a risk against his character. And the only way I could ever see Nick winning is if someone interfered and fucked Gunther over and then Nick capitalized on the win. But I cannot see Nick Aldis like taking Gunther bell to bell and then getting a clean pin on him. I just can't see it. And I love Nick, but it'd be too damaging to Gunther's last year of momentum and work. So it's got to be Gunther.
As much as I hate to pick him, I'm picking Gunther because I just know that they're not going to let Nick Aldis get the fucking win. They're just not going to let him beat this bitch up. I mean, they're just going to make him lose. And the next couple of weeks, we're going to have Gunther saying, oh, I made so-and-so pass out like a little bitch when he's won himself. I'm kidding. But I'm looking forward to this match, but not at the same time because I already know the outcome of it. So, and I don't like when I know the outcome, but like when it's super obvious what the outcome is, that just ruins a match for me. Am I the same way, or excuse me, am I the only way? Because I just don't like when a match does that.
As much as I would love to see Gunther get his ass beat by Nick Aldis, I would love to see that. It's not going to happen. I'm going with Gunther simply because of the fact that he's got that momentum from beating 3 damn legends who have, in fact, still been wrestling here and there. Hell, John Cena was literally wrestling within his last year in the company. And you're telling me that the general manager can beat Gunther? When Jey Uso and fucking CM Punk barely could beat Gunther? It's not going to happen, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to go with Gunther.
All right. Well, the sponsor of today's podcast is Good Feels. All right. If you're looking to unwind without the hangover or the haze, you've got to check out Good Feels. These are THC-infused seltzers made with all natural ingredients, clean, crisp, and consistent every time. It's the perfect way to relax, kick back, or just vibe with friends without the usual drawbacks of alcohol or traditional THC consumption. Each can's crafted to give you that uplifting, balanced feel, whether you're chilling at home or out with the crew. And because you listen to Snug Wrestling, you get 20% off your order at shop.getgoodfeels.com. Again, shop.getgoodfeels.com. Just use the promo code SNUG, S-N-U-G, at checkout for the highest exclusive offer that you won't find anywhere else. Full transparency, we earn a small commission when you use that code, but it helps keep the show going and gets you the best deal available. That's Good Feels. Real chill, no hangover, 21 up and only. Thank you, Good Feels, for sponsoring this episode of the Snug Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah, so for all those reasons, this match is going to be really good between Gunther and Nick Aldis. And also, like, there's a lot of questions around the contract. And is this going to be a one-off for Nick Aldis, or is he going to keep wrestling? Like, I'm curious about that too. So I'm really, really looking forward to this match and hopefully getting some answers. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, the next match, Shaw, is a 6-man tag team match. The Usos, Jacob Fatu, the Bloodline versus Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa. Now, this one right here, this one's also going to be interesting because we've been seeing the Bloodline, the Usos, giving Solo Sikoa opportunity after opportunity to come back to the family. And Solo Sikoa is just turning him down every single week, it feels like. Now I'm starting to believe that as much as the WWE is trying to get Solo Sikoa over as a babyface, I think that's just a way to throw us off, because I'm starting to believe that Solo Sikoa is going to turn on his teammates, on Royce Keys and on LA Knight at SummerSlam, and join the Bloodline again. I mean, I don't think the plan is to turn Solo babyface at all. I think it's the opposite. I think they're going to try to put some even more heat on him. And I think the Bloodline are going to win for that reason and leave Royce Keys and LA Knight hanging high and dry. But what do you guys think?
I would have agreed with you a week ago. In fact, hell, that was something I thought was going to happen. I was genuinely believing during that match, they're going to go for a tag when it's at the highest point of the match and they're desperate, and Solo's going to jump off that apron. Then I remembered something, a thread that they dropped for us, but we haven't really come back to. And I think we haven't come back to it on purpose so fans forget it long enough for the turn or the twist. Solo Sikoa, don't forget, offered to Seth that he would do for Seth what Seth did for Cody at WrestleMania 40. I think the full solidification of Solo as a babyface comes Sunday night in that main event. Roman versus Seth. I think Seth is going to, I'll get to that prediction, but I definitely think Solo does attempt to do for Seth what Seth did for Cody and distract Roman, and I think it almost works. But I do think that whether it's successful or fails in its execution during the match, whether it results in a win for Seth or not, I think it fully solidifies a turn for Solo Sikoa. So I got to say, because of that, I do think that the Bloodline win. I can't see the Bloodline losing to a makeshift team, though there are hinks on each side, that being Solo Sikoa's alignment and Jacob Fatu's temperament on his side. But it's hard for me to think that this newly formed Bloodline with Jacob Fatu involved, with the Usos on the same page, and it seems like they're starting to get on the same page with Jacob, though he did shove Jimmy off of him on Monday. At the end of the day, blood is thicker than water. And I do think that the makeshift team of LA, Solo and Royce is water in comparison. I do think the Bloodline go over here. That being said, I think that this is all still a preview for what's to come at War Games. I think this match is an appetizer for what we're going to see fully fleshed out here in the next couple of months. But yeah, I got to go Bloodline. I think it's going to be a sweep for the Bloodline this weekend.
I'm going the Bloodline one because I'm extremely biased. Because my favorite is on one of the team is on the Bloodline. So yeah. But I mean, the only reason how I see the others winning is to move LA away from the Bloodline, light a fire under Royce Keys' ass, and bring him over to Raw to go against Roman. And I don't even know what for Solo, but I mean, that's the only way I see uh LA, Royce, and Solo winning. Plus, I don't think we see the Solo or not face turn, heel turn here at SummerSlam whatsoever. I think we see that at War Games. Like, okay, picture this. Solo sets someone up for the spike, but Roman spears Solo. Well, actually, I don't even know what I was thinking. But I know what I'm thinking, but I don't at the same time. But I have the Bloodline winning.
Looks like I'm on my own, boys. Unfortunately, because I'm going with Team Solo here. I feel like Solo, LA, and Royce have more to lose than the Bloodline does. Because just look at the Bloodline. Look at everything they've accomplished up until now. I feel overall like the makeshift team that is Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa has more to lose here in this. But I absolutely do see this being our War Games match. The question remains, who's the other 4 spots?
Actually, I'm switching my prediction. I think because of how much they've been trying to build LA Knight, I think they have to give the win to LA Knight to justify everything he's been through, everything he's been saying. And I think WWE is finally catching on with the fans are like, hey, he's getting that swell in popularity again like he had a few years ago. And I think because he's been like really involved in this and he's been getting really good reactions. And I think that they still want Royce to work and get over because he is newer to the company and they're trying to get Solo to work. I think LA's team goes over, but I don't think that the Bloodline gets conquered for the entire weekend because a spoiler for my prediction later, I do not see Seth beating Roman, even if Solo comes in to make a sacrifice. But I do think it solidifies his face turn with the fans going, you know what? He kept his word. Because we did see him dip out and leave Seth high and dry 2 weeks ago, right after he told him I'd have your back. But I think he finally, gets the balls to do it. But I think that I want LA's Knights team to win because I need to see LA finally get that fucking push. And God damn it, I want him to win the Money in the Bank this year.
All right, from a 6-man tag team match, let's go to a 6-woman tag team match. The recently crowned women's tag team champions of Fatal Influence with JC Jane are going to be going up against the Bellas and Paige with the returning Nikki Bella, who showed up on SmackDown last Friday Night SmackDown. And if we don't get a turn on the 6-man tag team match, maybe we'll get one in the 6-woman tag team match because now that Paige and Brie Bella are no longer champions, could we see that story being told where Nikki is mad that they lost the titles thanks to Paige? Or maybe, what do you know? Maybe there's some jealousy in there. Like we haven't heard that before. What do you guys think is going to happen in this one?
I could see this going 2 ways. Before I say my prediction, I can see 2 ways. I could see Fatal Influence dropping the titles back to, it's kind of weird because the titles aren't up for grabs in this, are they? So
no, this 6-women tag team match.
Yeah, I could see this going 2 ways, either way, with or without the championships. I could see them winning this. Obviously, you beat the champions, you're basically the number 1 contenders again because you just beat the champions. But let's say the baby faces get the win. Let's say that the Bellas and Paige get the win. I could see right after that, the Bellas both turn on Paige and kick her ass out of the group so they can steal the title shot opportunity and leave Paige out of it. I could also see if Fatal Influence lose or wins, If they win, they pin Paige, and that pisses the Bellas off, and the Bellas think she's the weak link, and then they turn on her anyway. I'm going to go Fatal Influence retains here, or not retains, sorry, wins here, because they just won the titles. You want to keep them strong. You want to keep their momentum. They're the new kids on the block. These are all veterans. Constantly beating the veterans and Hall of Famers is only good for these girls. And I think that the Bellas and Paige can easily eat this and be fine. Especially if there's a bigger story here coming out of it with Paige versus the Bellas. So I do think that Fatal Influence wins. And I think post-match, I think the Bellas turn on Paige because I think Paige eats the pin.
I really don't give a shit about this match. The only person I care to see in this match is obviously Paige. Now that her and Brie don't have the tag titles, I'm starting to doubt if we will see the story that the Bellas turn on her. Unless, like Blood said, I'm pretty sure, after the match, Paige gets pinned. And I have the Bellas and Paige winning. But let's say Fatal Influence wins. If Paige takes the pin, and I can see the Bellas turning on her then. But I just don't see that happening like that. I see the Bellas and Paige winning, getting a shot for the tag titles. Brie and Paige go back for the tag titles. They don't get it, and Nikki snaps, causing Brie to also snap on Paige. And then we get the story that way. But I like I said, I don't give a shit about this match.
I am going with the baby faces. I am going with Paige and the Bellas. And here's why. There was a fan thing that I saw earlier today that I absolutely see happening. And it goes as follows. The Bellas and Paige win this. They instantly become number one contenders. They ended up getting their rematch. They win the tag titles back. And that's where it happens. Because I have a feeling like that plan is still in action. I really, really do. Because I think they get the tag titles back. And then Nikki ends up going, hey, at Mania, you were just a replacement for me. Overall, that's all you were. You were only there to save my spot so my sister can get the tag titles that she rightfully deserves. And now that I'm back in that position. That title belongs to me. And that's where that turn happens. That's what I have a feeling this is going to go, which is why I'm going with Brie, Nikki, and Paige.
Okay, so you're saying the baby faces steal the title out from under Paige once they regain them under Freebird rules, where technically they're all champions until the Bellas kick her out of the group, and now only the Bellas are the only two in the group, and the Freebird rule is gone as soon as they take the title back from her.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay. I could see that working.
I would like to see Fatal Influence win. I don't think that's going to happen because they won at Saturday night's main event. I don't see them being put over twice back to back over a returning Nikki Bella. I think they're going to try to give Nikki Bella the pin here, because she just came back. But yeah, I'm hoping for the Fatal Influence. But that was night one. And let's move on to night 2 of SummerSlam. All right, y'all, let's start off with the bang. For the World Heavyweight Championship, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Now, this feud between these two the build-up for that one has been, I think, a little bit better compared to the other main event, Punk versus Cody. Again, two guys with a lot of history. Things got really personal this past Monday night on Raw. Things have been getting physical. We saw them have an altercation at Saturday night's main event. They fought each other, had a little brawl on Monday. And, Roman is a champion right now. But after everything that's been happening between these two, I'm more leaning towards Seth Rollins now. I want to see Seth Rollins finally get that, I guess, the that redemption, that that ability to say, hey, I beat Roman Reigns finally one-on-one at a SummerSlam for the title, whatever, even though he's beaten before. But I want to see Rollins go over here because, like you guys said, this could be the final time we ever see Roman and Seth in the ring versus each other one-on-one. And I don't think Roman needs it, man. I mean, Seth Rollins never won the championship. I want to see him get it back. I kind of miss seeing the title on him. I love seeing Roman as a champion, but I'm just feeling like I'm team Seth Rollins at this point. But what do you guys think?
I think for the exact reasons you just stated is exactly why Roman retains. We're almost in the fourth quarter of the WWE calendar year. The fourth quarter is famously their weakest financial margin every year. When you're talking about money, and this is a business, they're going to make decisions predicated on what's going to maximize their profits. And they don't have John Cena this fourth quarter like last year to maximize a tour off of, or a final farewell match to maximize off of. Roman's the biggest draw in the company, let alone on Raw. He's the biggest draw in the world for pro wrestling. So when it comes down to it, I don't see them switching the title when they could keep Roman as champ leading into this holiday season. But also, as much as WWE tries to sell this story, as much as Rollins like to sell this story as, Roman, you have to beat me because you've never beaten me one-on-one, even though it's just window dressing, because Roman's beat him 2 separate times in the last 10 years on WWE television canonically. It's just what they really mean to say is, you've never beaten me one-on-one when it counted for a big match. That's what the real story is. But if you ask me, if it's about Roman never beating Seth when it really mattered, then Roman needs to do this to close that loop of the Shield. So we don't ever need to come back and do this again. As much as I like seeing these guys, fight, we see them on and off every couple of years reignite this feud, and it's a little old hat. I'm ready to see this Shield chapter fully closed. We know they wanted to originally do it at Mania earlier this year and couldn't. So this is the next best thing on the second biggest show. But I think Roman needs to finally put Seth in his rearview mirror, finally let go of the Shield, finally let go of the betrayal. And I think it's got to happen here. And I do think, as I said earlier, I think that during this match, because we don't know if the Bloodline's interfering or not, I do think that Solo does for Seth what Seth did for Cody at 40, but this time it fails. Solo does try to distract Roman, to make him take out that aggression on him to take his after prize, but I think it goes wrong. And I think no matter how hard he tries to help Seth, it fails because he isn't Seth, he's Solo. And Seth is more hated by Roman than Solo is. And I think that Roman doesn't make the same mistake twice, because that was something he mentioned in the final video package this Monday. He said, and for a moment, all I cared about was getting that revenge on Seth, even if it cost me the title. It felt in the moment better than winning and retaining my championship. But he's not going to have that same animosity towards Solo. So I think Roman goes over here. Financially, it makes sense for the company in the fourth quarter. And 2, it finally closes the loop of their story. Roman finally beats Seth when it mattered most.
I have so many theories that I want to have for this match. Big one being Zilla Fatu's debut. I am ready for it to happen. I can actually see it happen right now. The Usos get involved in the match. Then Royce Keys and LA Knight, they come out, fight the Usos off. Then Solo does the thing that Seth did for Cody at 40. But it fails due to Bloodline tradition. Black hoodie, bandana, all wearing all black. Bloodline tradition. The hoodie goes bye-bye. Bandana goes bye-bye. It's Zilla Fatu. I'm ready for him to be in WWE. Another big one I have is we're gonna go back to, I think, the backstage segment after Hell in a Cell was announced between Oba and Brock. Oba says, "I'm gonna save this for later." He didn't say when. So I'm thinking after the match or in the middle of the match, whatever you want to do. I'd prefer after. Oba's music hits. He cashes in, and he's the new World Heavyweight Champion, excuse me. I would like that to happen too, but that it's all just a what if. But I have Roman winning this. I don't see Seth winning this, mainly due to interference. But I hope the match doesn't end in a disqualification. Or as much as I said that I see Seth losing to interference, I don't want no shenanigans to happen in this match. So I hope it's a clean match and we get all that bullshit afterwards.
I am 110% easily going with Roman Reigns to retain the World Heavyweight title because I think that he needs it more. I feel like Roman just needs to finally shut Seth Rollins the hell up on the one thing that he's been digging into this entire time, which is that Roman can't beat Seth when it counts, when it's like this massive thing. Either someone interferes, he ends up getting it via count out, all of that. So Roman needs to beat him one-on-one, clean, just to shut Seth the hell up. So I'm going with Rollins to defeat Seth Rollins. No, I'm going with Roman to beat Rollins one-on-one clean.
The only problem I have, and look, I made all my arguments as to why Roman needs to go over, and I believe he's going over. But I think there's a catch-22 here. If Roman goes over, then what? What's next for Seth? That's my biggest thing. What can you do? Look at the roster of Raw top to bottom. Who the fuck does Seth go with? He's done with the Vision. He's done with Reigns after this. I don't think he's involved in whatever War Games match happens if the Bloodline's involved. I think they separate him from the Bloodline saga. Who does he feud with next? The only person I could think of is Bronson Reed. He's not back yet. So for me, it's a matter of if Seth loses and Roman goes over, it's great for Roman. It closes the loop, yada, yada. But then what for Seth? That's my biggest problem. Do we move Seth over to SmackDown? Like, what is next for Seth? That is my biggest thing. And we have yet to see Seth go for the WWE Undisputed Championship yet. So I feel like if he loses here, he's got to be kind of done on Raw because there's nothing left for him over there. He's not going to feud with Oba. Oba's what's probably next for Roman if Roman retains. So that's my biggest problem here. Everything goes sunshine and rainbows for Roman, but I think you've got to move Seth onto SmackDown and refresh him a bit with some new stories.
Yeah, I want to see Seth win it, right? I still do because I still think Roman Reigns is a dick, but we've been over that already. WWE released Roman Reigns' scheduled dates for after SummerSlam, so it doesn't look like Roman Reigns is going away anytime soon. Which one would think if Roman loses, he usually goes away for a while, right? That's not going to be the case after SummerSlam. So a lot of fans are already thinking like, well, thanks for telling us, WWE, that Roman Reigns is going to win because he's going to continue to show up. So there's that. But no, you're right, Mr. Blood. The fact that, there's no really any path right now, or not that we can think of, that Seth Rollins can take if he loses at SummerSlam, which is another reason why I think he should win. Because if he wins the world champion. Now, Seth Rollins is the one with the target on his back. But unfortunately, I think you guys are right, and Roman Reigns is going to win.
Well, also, let's remember that with his schedule, Roman's own promo on the Raw after Mania was, You're going to be seeing my ass for a long time. That part-time and shit is over. I'm going to be here all through the summer. Well, summer technically doesn't end until after September. So one has to wonder if he's sticking around and dropping it at Survivor Series. And then he takes his holiday break, comes back for Mania season during the Rumble. That's what I'm thinking. I think he holds it until November or October. I think October is when Survivor Series is. And then or November, according to Tox. So I think he holds it till the very beginning of fall or the middle of fall, drops it, goes on a sabbatical for the holidays because there's no PLE in December. There's just going to be a Saturday night's main event. And then I think we don't see him again until the end of January, beginning of February, probably for the Rumble into Mania season, where they're probably then going to build him for whatever match he's doing then. But then the question becomes, who the fuck takes it off of him at Survivor Series? And I'm wondering if that's Oba or if you save Oba for Mania.
So here are the dates. Obviously, he's going to be at SummerSlam. He's going to be at the Raw after SummerSlam, August 3rd. August 17th, which is 2 weeks after that for Monday Night Raw. Friday, August 28th, WWE event in Cleveland, Ohio. Is that a SmackDown? It doesn't say. He's going to be at Monday Night Raw in Mexico City, September 14th. His final date scheduled so far, this is according to Ringside News, is October 10th. Money in the Bank is the last scheduled date for Roman Reigns.
It's possible he gets cashed in on at Money in the Bank, because I don't think Oba needs to earn his way into Money in the Bank. I think if he's foregoing that title opportunity for later, I feel like Oba should still have that title opportunity for later. I'm wondering if he saves that chit for Mania season and goes, hey, at whatever Mania, I want my match or something. But then again, then what's the point of the Chamber going to be to take the other title? And then what's the point of the Rumble? I don't think you need to have Oba re-earn it. But I think if his last date listed is Money in the Bank, it's very possible WWE is telegraphing us that whoever wins that Money in the Bank is cashing in on Roman that night, whatever match he's in, and they're taking that championship off of him. And then he's going to be gone for the holiday season, come back for the Rumble.
Very possible. All right, y'all, let's go for the big interim WWE Women's Championship ladder match. We got Charlotte, we got Jade, we got Chelsea Green, we got Tiffany Stratton. And we don't know who the sixth opponent is going to be. We find that out on Friday Night SmackDown. But with these names that we have right now, I got to go with, for me, it's either Charlotte or Chelsea Green. I think at least give it to Chelsea Green. If she's not ever in the plans to become the real women's champion at all, if ever, at least make her the interim champion and get it over for the time being. I think the people would love to see that. And maybe if they do that, the WWE, this could be like a test run. What will Chelsea Green as women's champion actually look like on Friday Night SmackDown? That I want to see. And I'm pretty sure Chelsea Green would do a great job with it. The fans will love it. So I'm going to go with Chelsea Green.
Okay, you can clip this one. Because we don't know who's winning on SmackDown to become the fifth member of this women's ladder match on Sunday. That being said, I don't fucking care who it is. It doesn't matter. Neither of those people are winning. I think it's probably going to be Julia, and they'll throw her in there because Julia can lose, and they're not going to want Lash Legend in a match where she's not going to go over if they're trying to build her up, especially since they made a big deal about her on Unreal. But I agree with you. I think that it could easily be Chelsea Green or Charlotte. Charlotte makes plenty of sense. Because remember, whoever wins their interim champion, Rhea gets an automatic match against them when she comes back. And they're going to want that match to be as big as possible, the biggest bill as possible, so they can do a big Rhea, regaining of the title. And I think Charlotte versus Rhea, again, is going to be a banger because it fucking sure as shit was the last time they did it. But then you could argue, yeah, give it to Chelsea because Chelsea is an angel. She is sweet. She's so good. She's beloved. We love her. Chelsea Green for life, baby. But my thing is, if you give it to Chelsea, she's going to get squashed by Rhea. And I don't know if fans are going to want to see that. But I have no problem putting it on Chelsea because if anybody could lose to Rhea and still be loved and not lose any momentum or steam, it is Chelsea. Also, do you really want to just pad Charlotte's title record with an interim thing? I don't know if they want to do that, even though I know the ultimate plan is Charlotte versus Jade, but that's not what's happening here. It's whoever wins versus Rhea. But yeah, I'll say for the time being, I will say Chelsea, because if you were ever going to do it, this is the perfect time to do it, where it gives the fans what they want, but it still gets back on Rhea where they also want it.
Okay, just really quick before I get into my thoughts, can someone explain what the interim championship is? Is it just Rhea's
Yes.
title?
Yes. So being interim champion, we've done this only a couple of times in WWE history. The last time being in NXT, when Santos Escobar became the interim NXT, I think it was the North American champion, because there was travel restrictions during COVID, and that current champion had to drop, and I'm blanking on who it was. Before that, it was John Cena back in 2011. Interim means that while this person's out, I am the placeholder champion until you're able to come back and compete for it. So basically, when you come back, you're going to have a unification match. Whoever wins is the real champion.
Okay, thanks for explaining that. Well, one thing for damn sure, it doesn't need to be Tiffany or Jade. I think they finally pull the trigger and give Chelsea the big one. I would say Charlotte, but I have a feeling the SmackDown before SummerSlam, she's gonna get taken out by Michin and B-Fab, leading an open spot for two surprises. One is less likely because I don't know where she is in recovery or ready to come back, but I would like to see Naomi get back in there. This one would be more likely to happen, but AJ Lee, I think that would just be a great match between AJ and Rhea if AJ can get it. But I have high hopes for this match, and it's going to be a great match.
Out of the women that we currently have, I'll probably have to update my prediction judging by who that fifth member is. I'm going Charlotte. And here's why. It's Charlotte. Come on. But overall, their last match, her and Rhea, was phenomenal. Easily close to 5-star match right there. It was so damn good.
One of the best women's matches of all time.
Oh, for damn sure. But I don't think they pull it on Chelsea just yet. I really, really don't. Although, there is one person that people have come after me for, Snug, when we went through it for NXT, and the fact that I claimed that WWE does not have a good track record with former TNA World title holders. But I looked it up. This girl has been cleared for the past 2 months. She has been shown on Main Event. What if Jordynne Grace comes back?
At SummerSlam?
No, and she's in the match for that spot. She gets it. I'm just going to put that out there.
Is she in the match?
No, he's saying
he's
saying if Michin and B-Fab take out Charlotte, it opens up a spot for a mystery person to come in and take that spot. Because now there'd be 2 spots open, not 1. I mean, that's fine, but I think it'd be pointless if it was Jordynne Grace, because we ain't seen her in such a long time. I feel like she'd come back with almost no fanfare. She'd come back with some of it because people still like her, but there's a lot of people be like, oh yeah, she still works here. And I don't think it's worth doing if you're not sure if it's going to match, especially if you're not going to have her win. Then I feel like that's pointless. I feel like she's a better return for Money in the Bank, because then it's more likely that she could.
But out of the 4 women that we currently have, I'm still going Charlotte Flair.
Fair enough. Well, I know where I'm going when it comes to who I'm going to pick for what type of coffee I'm going to be drinking. It's got to be Strong Coffee Company, because we're sponsored by Strong Coffee Company. This episode is sponsored by them, and they make premium instant coffee blends for people who want to the convenience and great taste and of their morning cup of joe, you know. Their black fair trade instant coffee delivers a bold, smooth flavor while packing 15 grams of high quality protein and 5 grams of MCTs and 250 milligrams of adaptogens. It's not your average cup of joe, you know. So get rid of that instant stuff. If you're drinking that stuff, get yourself some strong coffee company. And it's designed to support sustained energy, focus, and alertness without the usual jitters or afternoon crash. If you prefer something creamier, Strong Coffee Company lattes combine organic Arabica coffee with protein, collagen, and healthy fats to help fuel your mind and body throughout the day. It's quick to prepare, easy to fit in, you know, in your busy schedule. It tastes like a traditional cup of coffee, but it's not. It's not your regular cup of joe. So use promo code SNUG at checkout, receive 20% off your order. That's 20% off your order with promo code SNUG, SNUG at Strong Coffee Company. All right, y'all. Continuing on, we are moving along for night 2 of SummerSlam. We have a number 1 contenders match between Finn Balor and Sami Zayn. The winner of this match gets an opportunity for the WWE Undisputed Champion, a championship that Sami Zayn had for hours, it seems like, a few days, and then he lost it. And then he had to go into another match to earn a rematch for the title that he just lost. So poor Sami, he doesn't get the rematch clause here. He has to go through Finn Balor, someone who hasn't had an opportunity of his own in years, except, you know, he did have one with CM Punk. He also had one with Seth Rollins a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But he's never actually won it, so Finn Balor is hungry. He's been on SmackDown trying to create a new version of himself and try to, you know, redeem himself after having to relinquish the Universal Championship so many years ago. So there's a lot of history in this match. Sami Zayn feels like he got screwed, so he's hot. This is going to be a really good match. But who do you guys want to see go over in this one?
This is probably the only match on the card where I actually feel it is so up in the air. This is the only match that we've gone through where I didn't have a definitive winner in my head, or I could reason a definitive winner in my head. Because the thing is, you could argue it doesn't matter who it is that wins. Sami has a story that's been ongoing where he wants to recapture, and we could still run back a feud between him and Punk. But then you could also argue Balor is now the babyface, and Punk is still the babyface unless he turns heel through all this. And then we could run that back with the dynamics switched. And then we could tell the story of Balor chasing the title that he never lost. Or you could still tell the story of Sami chasing the title that he got screwed out of. So it's one of those, it could be either or. And when it came to last week on SmackDown, where there was the match to get into the contendership match, no one else in that match made sense. Like, come on, like what? Damian is already a tag champion. You had Royce is already involved in a story. You had, there was no one else in that match that made sense to win except for Balor. It was almost telegraphed that he was going to win it to be in this spot. That being said, it's hard to pick because I can make an argument for either or that equally makes sense, which is why this is the only match in the card that I genuinely could say I'm fine with either person. But for the sheer fact that I would love to see another run at it to where he could potentially actually win it, we get to see what a real reign with him looks like. I'm going to say Balor, because he's the one guy, as much as Sami screams about getting screwed, no one got fucked over with that title in the last 10 years more than Finn Balor. He got injured in a freak accident in a match that was damn near 5-star worthy and never was given it again because Vince McMahon gets cold feet the moment someone steps on a fucking crack. Okay. And Triple H doesn't book like that. Triple H does not book like a pussy. So when it comes down to it, I think you give it to Finn because at least Sami got a reign that was 9 times longer than Balor. But we've never gotten to see what Balor could look like as the mega baby face that he was at the time against a heel Seth with a championship that he never lost. So I want to see what a real Finn Balor run looks like, because the dude's in his mid-40s. This might be the last chance we ever get to see him really get a shot and really give us these matches in the twilight of his career that we all know he's still very capable of giving us. And then that means we get to see other great matches like, Randy versus freaking Finn, or a returning Drew versus Finn, or if Seth moves over to SmackDown, let's run that back from almost 10 years ago. Like, there are so many ways that this could go that I genuinely get more excited at the prospect of Finn, though I still want to see Sami continue in the main event scene. My mouth waters at the prospect, metaphorically, of a Finn Balor title reign where he's the mega face, him versus Drew, him versus Punk, him versus Seth in a rematch for that same championship. It's almost like, fuck, I don't want to miss out on that. So let's go Finn.
I'm also going Finn. Love both of these guys to death, even though Sammy's being a little bitch right now, but it's fine. It's fine. It just has to be Finn. I don't see Sami winning, even though the story makes sense with Sami. I just don't see it. You put him on SmackDown for a fresh start. He's had an amazing fresh start. Great match every time he's in the ring on SmackDown. He's deserved it for a long time. He was, out of everyone that has been screwed in the history, I think Finn, for me at least, goes down as number one. But he just deserves a shot at it. And even if he doesn't win against Punk, he had another shot. But I feel like this match was also just filler for SummerSlam, because they couldn't find anything else to do. So they okay, we'll make this up on the spot, and here we go. So yeah, I'm excited for this match. It's going to be a good match, but it has to be Finn.
Listen, I love Sami. I really, really do. I sing his theme every time he comes out. I am that type of Sami fan. But fuck Sami. He's not winning this. Plain and simple. Plain and simple here. Finn Balor lost this title. It was the Universal title that he never lost. So much that injury, he refuses to watch that match. Balor just full-blown refuses to watch the match that took that title away from him. But overall, it's Finn Balor that needs this way more than Sami Zayn does. He just does. So I'm going with Finn Balor to win this number one contenders match, go up against CM Punk, and win there.
I'd also argue that WWE has this habit of, they put people over who are doing media, who have out of nowhere random big interview. Like Finn literally, 2 weeks ago, had a big interview with Chris Van Vliet, and Finn does not do interviews. He said it many times. It makes him wildly uncomfortable. He cares about the wrestling. He hates doing promos. He just cares about the wrestling. And that interview with Chris was insanely good. If you haven't gone and listened to it, go listen to it on YouTube. It's fantastic. It really gives you an insight to who he is as a man, his career, what that loss meant to him against Seth, the injury. But I feel like, why would you have him do one of the biggest interviews that you can do right before SummerSlam, right before he wins a contendership, opportunity? I feel like it has to be Finn, because they're kind of pushing him in the media. They're kind of pushing him on TV. I feel like it's almost telegraphed that he has to win, because why else would you have him do an interview where he's going to bring up the loss that he had against Seth, the injury, and then it's while he's in contention for the exact same championship that he got hurt with. So I think Finn is kind of telegraphed here, right?
I also just want to see Sami crash out, because he feels like he's been screwed over. And, if he loses again, Finn Balor cheated, and then he smacks around more water bottles backstage. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, full heel.
Um,
He's not full heel yet. He's a tweener leaning heel. Let's see him go full fucking heel.
Yeah. All right, the United States Championship is going to be defended at SummerSlam. Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin. We talked about this a little bit already. Baron Corbin showed up 5 minutes ago, but he's already on the card of SummerSlam, already going for the United States Championship. Trick Williams has had one hell of a title reign. He's he's defended it multiple times, a handful of times, I want to say, successfully, but is this going to be the night? Is Baron Corbin going to pick up the big win over Trick Willie, Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppers this weekend?
Okay, this is the one match that I need to see a disqualification or an interference. I'm going to put it out right now. And you can clip this because I want to know what the fans think. But Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin needs interference and a disqualification. You cannot beat Trick right now. Not as hot as he is, not as over as his act is with Lil Yachty. He's so popular. They just highlighted the shit out of him across like 2 or 3 episodes on Unreal. And on top of that, Baron Corbin just came back. But Baron Corbin came back to a lot of fanfare. And we've seen him like, what, once since he's come back, and he beat the shit out of everybody to a massive pop. And then, bam, we have this match.
It was
I love Baron.
And then a video package, and that was it.
Exactly. And I love Corbin. I was pissed when he got released. But I also don't think that you should just have him come back and beat Trick, who's over like Rover and is a star you're trying to actively, constantly push to the moon as the next generation. Corbin's the old generation. But then you also, at the same fact, don't want Trick to just go over on Corbin his first match back. Like, you're booking yourself into a corner here. You're going to kill Corbin's momentum on arrival, or you're going to stop Trick's momentum dead in its tracks. So you need an interference or a DQ here. This is the one match on the card where I fucking want it. So my prediction is DQ interference. Neither man wins. And I think it's going to be Carmelo Hayes that causes it.
Let me ask a quick question before I talk about Trick and Baron. See what I did there. But where the fuck is Carmelo Hayes? Like, him or Ricky Saints, they should be in this match. This should either be a fatal 4-way or a triple threat. Snug, I know you hate them, but I mean, this makes the most sense. Like, it's like they don't give a damn about Carmelo Hayes because, I mean, think about his main roster run that he's had. First round draft pick, had a main event match. I'm pretty sure his main event on SmackDown. Main event match against Cody Rhodes. And he fucking, there's too much words to say about him, but he has done it. He has proved that it takes time, but it would do wonders for him if he could take the title back that he lost on one of WWE's biggest stages in SummerSlam. I mean, honestly, love Baron Corbin. Happy he's back. I don't think he's ready to get back in a title scene yet. I think he hasn't even had a match on SmackDown yet. He's appeared once, the video package, and then after the last week's, but it was off air, so that's where this match got announced. But I'm going with Trick Williams because Baron's just not ready yet. He will be. Yet I just want him to have a few more matches before he gets it.
Yeah, to respond to the Carmelo thing as well. Like I just watched the Busted Open Radio interview that I told you about earlier with Triple H, where he was talking about Oba and Brock. He also talked about this next crop of talent, this next generation, where the generation of veterans wants to give back to this new generation to thrive. And he literally name dropped Trick Williams, Oba Femi. He name dropped Javon Evans, and then he also name dropped Carmelo Hayes. You're name dropping these people that are the next generation of greats, and you name Carmelo in that same sentence. But all you've done with him is a first round draft pick, main event with Cody on that same SmackDown, a seven series with Andrade, nothing almost for a whole fucking year, tagging with, I'm pretty sure, The Miz. And then out of nowhere, he's the U.S. champ on an open challenge. And then you cut him out of the story that he started. How you can't sit here and talk about and tout him as one of the greats and one of this, one of that, and then not book him as such. because you have booked Oba and even Javon and Trick way more consistently than you have been giving Carmelo any kind of fucking praise in his booking, where you consistently keep him a part of the story. You keep cutting him out of the story and then just dropping him back in at random. You're start booking him, and it's hurting his momentum. So for me, that's one of the things that Triple H is pissing me off with. I agree with you, Tox. This should have been a multi-man. I've been saying forever that Carmelo needed to be involved in this as a multi-man for months, because he should be. So it's either we're all in on this next talent, Triple H, or we're fucking not. But stop name dropping people like they're the future of this business, and then you don't book them like they're the future of this business.
And here's another reason why it should have been a good old multi-man match. When Baron Corbin returned, what match did he return on? Trick Williams versus Carmelo fucking Hayes. Right there. It's Carmelo full on saying, hey, your return screwed me over out of a future United States title shot. There you go. Should have been a triple threat. But if anything, Blood, you took it right out of my mouth, my man. I'm going Trick Williams, and I'm doing it via a Carmelo Hayes interference, because I just feel like with the fact that Carmelo Hayes has been passed up time and time and time again, screwed over, it's right there in front of you. Carmelo Hayes interferes, and here soon, there's our triple threat. If Triple H will actually pull the fucking trigger on it.
All right, y'all. Let's go on over to the Intercontinental Championship. Penta versus Chad Gable. All the stars feel like they aligned for this one, man. This goes back over a year of these two. They have a lot of history together. Penta debuted on Monday Night Raw versus Chad Gable. It was his first match in the WWE. Chad Gable becomes El Grande Americano. He goes to AAA. He disrespects the luchadors. He gets his mask taken by the new El Grande Americano. And now Chad Gable is trying to make up for all the shitty things that he's done. And he became the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, the title that he has never won. He's been so close to winning, but he's never been able to. This time he has an opportunity in his hometown at SummerSlam. And the big difference between all the other times he had a shot at the title, he explained it in the video package this past Monday night on Raw, where it wasn't that he wants to win it because he needs to. He wants to win it. I think he said it was something along the lines like, he's like trying to like reinvent himself, and it's like it's for his family, for his hometown, in front of his family. Do you guys remember what he said? It was a really good video package, but it made sense. I just don't really remember what he said, but I think it's safe to say that Chad Gable's going to win this one, and we're going to have a new Intercontinental Champion, right?
I think, yeah. I think it's a full circle moment, you know? Again, like we all know, Chad Gable had Penta's first match when he came into the WWE on Monday Night Raw. And it was a fucking one hell of a debut match. I mean, I think across the board, that match was like universally praised, as it should have been. It was an insanely well-worked, well-wrestled, well-told story of a match. And they've both been on their individual journeys. And Penta's had one hell of a rise himself, deservedly so. But Chad has had quite a character arc since that match. Quite a character arc. Becoming one of the most over acts and one of the most over and praised, beloved matches in AAA history, mind you, to then coming back as himself, fully rejuvenated, you know, full circle apologizes to the Alpha Academy, makes his rights with everybody he wronged. And now we're going to be in his hometown with his family in attendance, where he's finally going to win the title that he worked his ass off when he was still babyface last to get close to, before Sami basically stole his title shot at Mania and beat Gunther, when we all agree it should have been Chad that had originally dethroned Gunther. I genuinely think that this is poetry. This is the perfect time you make Chad champion. Penta, I feel like they've kind of spun their wheels with him as of late as far as being a champion. He's really more of the guy backstage that said, "Oh, miedo, let's bump, let's bump, let's bump." He hasn't done much. I haven't seen him wrestle a whole lot, I feel, in a while. In fact, the last Intercontinental Championship match I remember is him versus Ray. That ended, I feel, extremely abruptly. But at the end of the day, I think if we get the same match we had the first time or even better, this one might steal the show this weekend, even though it's going up against the Hell in a Cell match, a Punk and Cody match, and a Seth and Roman match. You talk about in-ring work. This might be the best in-ring told story of the weekend. And I think Chad getting his flowers might be one of the most beautiful pops we might see this year. A real moment with him and his kids, the crying, the holding his wife. I think it'll be beautiful. And I want to actually see that for him. He is well long past deserved
it. I can't pick. I'm not refusing to pick. I just can't, because I like these two so much as wrestlers and as people, but Penta has been an amazing champion, fighting champion, really what the Intercontinental Championship is. It's one of the workhorse titles. You're supposed to defend it a lot. And that's exactly what Penta has done with it. But the one thing that I'm afraid of is that if he loses that, I don't think they pull the trigger on potentially putting him in a world championship spot, even though I think he is more than ready for it. But Chad, he deserves the Intercontinental Championship so much. He got screwed out of his spot at WrestleMania 40. I'm pretty sure everyone can agree with that. He got screwed out by, well, not really screwed out by Gunther, but he had a great match with Gunther for it, but it ended in not disqualification, excuse me, count out. So it didn't change hands. So they have both worked so hard to be in this spot that they are fighting for. So I can't pick. I can't.
Toxic, you may not be able to pick, but I 100% can. I am going with Chad Gable to finally win his first singles title in the Intercontinental Championship. That is my prediction there. Why? Chad has way more to lose than Penta does. Because Penta's got the whole, hey, look, cero miedo, tap here, tap there, smooth operator. Like that's what Penta's got overall. That's just what he's got. But there's this. Chad Gable has gone through all of this from the start of El Grande Americano to the end of El Grande Americano with him and the growth that he had after he was unmasked. I feel like at this point, you kind of need to push that more and give a reason why he's apologized to everybody besides, hey, look, these are my past actions. I do apologize for them. I do see where I was wrong. So I think giving him that Intercontinental title will then justify everything else.
Yeah, I really love what they've been doing with Chad Gable, man. Like, I don't think he gets enough credit, but the WWE is really positioning him in a major way. Like, this match, this Intercontinental Championship match, has the potential to be match of the night, if not match of the weekend, because of, again, the history and everything that we talked about. But Chad Gable just came off a major main event in AAA, one of the most talked about things in all of Lucha Libre history. And now he's in this big Intercontinental Championship match in a huge stage in his hometown. So the things that they've been doing with Chad Gable has been amazing. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Also, Penta, they're starting to get Penta ready for Triple Mania. He's supposed to be reuniting with his brother, the Lucha Bros, which is going to be a big deal. First time ever in WWE. So everything it's making sense for Chad Gable to win.
And I think you could easily move Penta onto the world title scene after he's done with Triple Mania. When it comes down to it, I think that because I would have said originally the best built story for this card for this weekend was probably going to be, ironically, Gunther and Aldis. But when it comes down to it, you can make an argument that it's Penta and Gable, because the story is 2 years basically of build at this point, and it's full circle for Chad's entire character arc and story. He has the most story for the arc he's gone on than anybody else on this card, because we know the history of Punk and Cody and everything. We've seen it. We've seen the interactions plenty. That shit's already been fleshed out. Roman and Seth has been fleshed out for years and years and years, and a few freaking dozen times. So you could say that the freshest story that feels the most organically built based on the road traveled to get here, it's Chad Gable's story. And I think this will be the most feel-good moment of the card. When and if he wins, I think it's going to be fucking beautiful. I really do. And I think I really can't wait to see the look on his kids and his wife's face when he wins. I think it's going to be tremendous. And then the sportsmanship between him and Penta after is just going to chef's kiss seal the deal on, wow, man, that was really worth the 2 years of build.
Yeah, so we got a lot of good things to look forward to at SummerSlam. We got this great story between Penta and Chad Gable, Nick Aldis versus Gunther, Roman versus Seth, but we cannot forget about probably the greatest match. If you ask Triple H is going to say, I think they asked him earlier, oh, what match do you think is going to steal the show? And he said Liv versus Io. Nay, I think it's going to be this match right here. I believe that you are cursed. I believe that you are cursed.
I forgot about this match happening.
Danhausen versus Dominik Mysterio. This better be the main event of SummerSlam, or I'm going to riot. This is going to be a human monies in a pole match. I'm just kidding, y'all, but who you guys got?
Yeah, I forgot this match was happening. I thought we were actually wrapping up. How do I say this in a way that makes sense here? I don't care who wins. In fact, when it comes to Danhausen and Dom, and anybody within the sound of my voice has got a problem with what I'm about to say, you, the WWE, Dominik Mysterio, and Danhausen can kiss my asshausen. Because as far as it's concerned, this is a mockery of a fucking match on a SummerSlam card that could have gone to, I don't know, the women's intercontinental fucking title match that happened on Monday instead of here. A women's US title match, which could have happened here. The tag team championships that could have happened here. I don't know, any other fucking match or title that mattered that could have been here. And they haphazardly threw this on the fucking card, taking away from all the other stories we still need to fucking finish or cook in the fucking kitchen. But instead we go, let's insert a fucking comedy match. By the way, this entire match didn't even be a match. This could have been a fucking segment. It could have been a segment. Okay? This feud has produced some of the most cringiest shit I've seen in a long time on WWE TV. This past Monday's fucking You Are Cursed shit with Joe Hendry has been universally panned, and it is the talk of the WWE town where people think it's the worst thing they've seen ever. Even people who love Danhausen hate that segment and think it's jumping the fucking shark, okay? A la the Fonz. For those who are too young to remember that the term jump the shark comes from an episode where the Fonz literally jumped over a fucking shark on jet skis. And when it comes down to it, this match is an embarrassment because there were so many other things that deserve to be here that deserve time. And we've had shit like, I don't know, JD McDonough getting electrocuted to the most cartoony slapstick YouTube filter fucking goddamn effects from a multi-billion-dollar company. and we've had mini Hausens and people being transformed inside of a fucking hyperbolic time chamber. And like, it's just, when does it end? Like, I get he's for the kids, but at a point, if you were trying to convince a fan or a friend to be a potential fan and go, hey, just watch this show with me, you might really love WWE and fall in love with wrestling, and they've never watched before and they've always shit on it, and this is your chance to get them engaged. When they see this shit, they're going to look at you like, is this really the shit you watch? This is the thing that you pretend you weren't watching when someone walks in the room and sees what you were watching. That's what this is. So I don't have a prediction for this because I don't fucking care. So I won't give a prediction because I don't give a flying fuck. I hate that it's here, and I refuse to entertain it.
I also forgot about this match happening, but I think it's time. Well, I don't even know if he's had a loss on the main roster yet, but I think it's time to give Danhausen his first loss, and I think that's to Dominik Mysterio. I do see this match being kind of one-sided on Dom's side, but am I excited for the match? No, because I forgot it was happening. So, I mean, this match is easily forgettable, as Blood has clearly stated, but I mean,
Why give Danhausen an ice cream truck if he's not winning this match? Why shove him down our throats if he's not winning this match? But here's my giant problem. I will gladly remind all of you, this is two multi-millionaires fighting over money. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You've got two people who make millions of dollars a year between their contract, the merch that they sell, all of that. And two multi-millionaires are fighting over $10,000.
100,000.
Okay, 100,000. My point still stands. Thousands of dollars when these two make millions on a yearly basis.
While they're both probably being paid over 100,000 just for this match, mind you. Think about that. Their contract. They're fighting over $100,000 that they're probably making on their next paycheck.
I don't give a fuck. I'll fight anybody for $100,000. I don't care how rich or poor I am.
At this point, it's just about the principle. That's why they're fighting. It's about the principle, not the money. But it's what a waste of space on a card that's already too many matches.
But here's the biggest thing. Danhausen is OP. He really is. He is overpowered as all hell, not only with the curse, but with the factor of we've got experiments to factor in. We've still got that giant figure in the fucking bed to try and figure out when the hell that thing will come into play. What if it comes into play here?
Yeah, I'm starting to think that that's just like a ongoing thing that Danhausen, he's always going to bring out somebody different every time. Like, he's just like creating someone new every time before his match. I think we're thinking of it the wrong way, Tommy. Like, we all think it's going to be like this one big reveal. I think that's just his gimmick now. He's just going to bring in new people out of the box every time.
Yeah, he's cartoon logic. He's
Yeah.
literally just Toon Force. That's all he is. He's cartoon logic.
Yeah.
And I think speaking of like reveals and shit, we're all forgetting we have the return of Big Cass literally the night after Sunday. So, and we don't know who he's attacking, who he's coming up against, because you got to imagine he's debuting, but he's debuting on somebody. They're not just going to bring him out. He's debuting on somebody, and whether that's a face or a heel remains to be seen.
Well, yeah, that was the SummerSlam predictions with the Snug Wrestling crew. It's going to be a fun weekend. I can't wait to see how many of these we get right, if we get new champions. And another thing, too, Tommy, you pointed this out, I believe. a while ago. SummerSlam is known for having big returns the last few years, right? We could see some major returns. Not Big Cass, he was announced for the day after, but that's also something to look forward to. But we're going to end it there because we went way over our time. So if you will, Mr. Blood, take us home, please.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Snug Wrestling Podcast. That was our predictions for the 2026 SummerSlam match card, now in the books. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you for supporting the show as always. You can catch us live every Monday night after Raw, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, and 6 p.m. Pacific for our NXT post-show reviews. Then every Thursday at the same time on TikTok Live, where we discuss random and relevant wrestling topics and answer your fan questions live. We will not be live tomorrow. I, Mr. Blood, am traveling for a convention this weekend, so I will not be on TikTok Live. But you can also catch us every Sunday at all those same times for our SmackDown post-show review, which we also will not be doing this Sunday because you're going to need to mark your calendars for our NXT post-show, our SummerSlam post-show review this Sunday on night 2 in that evening. And we do go live on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Kick for every live episode. So this Sunday, hang out with us for the post-show review of SummerSlam. And of course, you can go ahead and follow us everywhere on all social media, Apple and Spotify. And of course, follow our library on Apple and Spotify and YouTube if you ever miss our episodes live. Then head on over to teepublic.com/Snug Wrestling, teepublic.com/Snug Wrestling to pick up your Snug Wrestling merch and support this podcast. And until next time, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug.